Welcome to another episode of the Comic Panels. My name is Mike, Grogan, Andy. So what are we going to talk about today?
I don't know.
Well, let's talk a little bit about continuity and numbering.
Yes. Big stuff.
Well, let's start with the numbering system right now, since
It's terrible.
Yeah, it's pretty terrible right now, especially for Marvel.
What are they thinking?
It's basically what they're doing is they're want to reboot or restart or renumber a lot too often right now. It's hard to keep track unless you've got an Overstreet in front of you, or maybe a program for your computer to help you out, or something like that. I don't like the fact that they're putting the numbers. This is a pretty good example. Marvel's putting the numbers in the lower. I don't like that. Keep it up in the upper right-hand corner or left-hand corner. It does not matter. It's easier to see, and try to make at least 50 issues before you start renumbering again, because that's plenty. You can figure out what volume it is. Either that or put the date on it.
Put the date.
Number 1, 2015.
But how about this? How about stopping the number ones? Because they know a number one sells multiple copies. Stop doing that to us. Just because it's a number one doesn't make it a lot better, because there's still issues of number 742 that had the first appearance of.
Or 16.1.
Right. Oh, yeah.
The point
ones, yeah.
Stupid.
That drove you nuts.
But,
or if there was a takeover with Sinestro on this issue, and they're doing all these little things where if you have a price guide or you go on eBay, you put in, say, Batman number one. Well, be more specific, because there's a bunch of Batman number ones. What year? And that's what's. And maybe if they do the stoppings, but put under it in parentheses. This in the continuity of it, it would have been 586. So you want to put a number one in the corner, but in actuality, this is Batman's 586th
Or do it
issue.
in indicia.
What? What is indigestion? What do you mean by that?
In indicia.
Oh, indigestion, yes.
Indicia. That's publishers usually on the insides page. Sometimes they put them on the back page, but down here it tells you the title of the book, the number of the book, where it's published, who publishes it, that kind of stuff. All the kind of legal and pertinent information that you need to know about the comic book.
That hurts my head.
Sorry, but it gives you the address, mailing address. Sometimes it gives you subscriptions if you want to subscribe through the mail. It'll give you the price, that kind of stuff. And indicia.
Indicia, wow. Now we learned some more stuff today.
Indeed.
Indeed. So maybe it doesn't actually have to be on the cover, but, keep the continuity, the original numbering system in the indicia.
Right, because when they hit, once they hit 1,000, they're going to want to say, this is Batman the 1,000th issue. But no, it's not, because you stopped it. And to get to that number 1,000, which Superman and Batman are going to get to before any Marvel comic, that's an incentive in itself. But they've created all these different numbers, which stops the number count.
Some of the reasons that they do that is they think they want to have this a good jumping on point for new readers. So, hey, this is a new number one. New storyline, I can get on board now. So I understand kind of why they do it, but at the same time, for people that have been reading books for a long time, it's just a pain.
I personally like the legacy of collecting a book. I started at issue 500 when I got a job. I could do it. It's now at this level here, or I started collecting in here, and it shows that title has a longevity.
Yes.
But if you are going to do the stop and start, I like the idea of putting a year and a number. So if you are looking for a set or a series, it's easy to find. I mean, it's very frustrating when you're trying to look for a back issue or something, they reference it, if you are somebody into collecting back issues.
Well, how about this? Because if you remember, DC did this a number of times with their Batman titles. Within the series, there was a mini-series, and they labeled it as such. Death in the Family. It was... four issues within that series. Lonely Place of Dying in Batman. It was 5 or 6 issues within that. The introduction of the new Robin, not Jason Todd, Tim Drake. They had a little mini-series within that series. So if you want a good jumping on point, here's a little mini-series within the series. You don't have to know a lot about continuity, but here's a good jumping on point. Never disrupting the number system. But it was one of 6 within that number system. Get back to that.
Yeah. Or, I don't know. There's different things. If you want to get a new reader and not lose the continuity, do a retelling. of the origin or something at
Yeah,
some
they
point.
used to do that every so often,
they
yeah.
used to do that a lot. That's a good spot.
It's a great spot.
That way you don't have to change numbering.
share our video with Marvel and DC. Let them know. But I didn't want to stop you. But that's a good thing. Let them know this is our ideas, and that's what they should do.
I mean, even I remember reading books when I was a kid. They would have chapter 1, 2,
Yeah.
3 in it, so you knew
Yeah,
when
when
the
you
story
opened up
arc
the
end.
book, yeah.
You know, now some days they go 2 or 3 pages in. It's like part 3. Sometimes they don't. You know, part 3 of whatever. You don't even know what the whatever is. You don't know how long that story's going to go.
Right.
So.
I mean,
There's ways they can do it to make it more feasible for people and collectors when you're looking for something.
right. I mean, and the number
Yeah.
ones
Help us out.
It makes their money. But what about us on the continuity? Plus, let's just say you're
The
looking
guys
at
that have
pricing.
supported them for
Yeah,
If
we buy
Decades
your
and
product,
decades
so
and
help
decades.
us out.
Yeah.
Help us help you.
help us help you. If we turned our backs on them, how would they feel? Because then they're putting out comics for nobody to read. So then their readership dies. Their publishing goes down.
yeah.
You know, listen to us too. So you think we
It
covered?
also affects the people at the retail levels with stores when they're trying to sell packages, stock stuff up. I mean, it's a chain reaction.
Yeah.
I really honestly
It's
feel
tough to explain
Yeah.
to somebody that this isn't actually the new number one.
right.
Especially when you have to explain it to them from a year or two ago.
If you want Batman
Not that-
number 1, you're not going to have these white pages.
Yeah,
They're going
that's
to be
not
slightly
number Batman
yellowed.
number one.
Yeah, but you know what? I think they have an obligation not only to us but to the retailers too, because of the fact is that the retailer is trying to sell the product, and he's going to try to guess the demand. And if he's sitting there saying, "Well, is a lot of people going to buy this number 1 issue?" You know, or if they just kept it the same, but make it more interesting. Because hey, the first appearances of Scarf. How about the Fantastic Four? The first 100 issues, tons of characters. You had Doctor Doom. You have the Mole Man. You have Silver Surfer, Galactus. They didn't
Everybody.
restop it after 50 and rebounce it to 1 because we want to introduce. You make a great character, that issue's going to sell, and people are going to want it.
Well, the way of thinking back then also was people didn't want to have started at number 1. They wanted to see something that was already in progress and already a success. So, that's why sometimes back in the 40s and 50s they would start a brand new comic at issue number 6.
Like Amazing
So-
Fantasy, right? Something in the middle.
Yes. Well, a lot of that had to do with changing the names without having to pay the post office an extra subscription fee.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was a little bit different outlook for people buying books. They wanted to see something that was already established. This is already sold. This is what I want. Other people buy this. They didn't look at it as a jumping one point. Of course, a lot of them books were self-contained though back then. So
Very true.
Yeah.
Very
you could
true.
jump in at any time.
Right. Did you get it all off your chest?
I think so.
Okay. How about you? Do you have an opinion? Do you like the continuity, or do you like having number 1 issues and reboots every 5 minutes? Please let us know in the comments below.
Please click the subscribe button below and give us a thumbs up if you like it.
And like us on Facebook. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.